We begin this edition with the latest flashpoint between Russia and the United States. The Kremlin is taking all necessary steps now to ready itself for fresh sanctions by the United States. This announcement comes after an explosive interview of American President Joe Biden. Let's first tell you what the president has said. Joe Biden believes that his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin is a killer and that he will pay a price. President Biden sat down with ABC News for an exclusive interview with George Stephanopoulos. Biden spoke about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, migrants, the COVID-19 vaccines, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. The United States Chief Intelligence Office released an unclassified report on foreign interference in the 2020 election. The report concluded that the Russian president oversaw sweeping efforts aimed at denigrating Joe Biden's candidacy. President Biden told ABC News that he has warned Putin about a potential response during a call in late January. Listen in now to this exclusive conversation. Joining us on the broadcast is our correspondent Susan Tehrani from New York. Hi, Susan. Joe Biden not mincing any words there, lashing out at his Russian counterpart, at the same time talking about an extension of that arms agreement. Now, do we expect fresh sanctions by the U.S. on Russia?
The United States has a history of sanctioning Russia, and I think one of the key points to note here is that the officials and so-called oligarchs that the United States aims to sanction in these situations usually don't have a desire to travel to the United States, and they don't have assets here in the United States. But despite this fact, even it being symbolic, Russia has made clear that if the United States sanctions Russia, it will affect mutual relationships between the two sides. Joe Biden, in that same interview, said that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Presumably, he is under the impression that by calling his Russian counterpart a quote-unquote killer, he can also negotiate on other issues. Some say that this quote might have taken things a little too far, considering the fact that the United States does need Russia, not only in the arms deal, the START pact treaty, but also Russia has veto-yielding power at the United Nations Security Council, and it's one of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council. A lot of issues go through the United Nations and that council that the United States and Russia would be best to agree on. One of them being the issue of Iran, and which was and the deal between the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, along with Germany and Iran, which Russia and the U.S. are part of. So those are two aspects of it. But on another hand, you know, this intelligence report is concerning in a way that it has come out and it has alleges that foreign actors did interfere in U.S. elections. And the report also notes that when it comes to Russia, it mainly signaled out Russia and Iran. And when it comes to Russia, it claims that, and this is a quote-unquote probably, Vladimir Putin himself did know about these interferences, and if not him, people close to the Kremlin actually approved these. They also say that this is very different from the interference claims that the United States made back in 2016, when it was more about how Russia's cyber efforts got into the election infrastructure to overturn the elections to the favor of Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. What they're saying is this is more about a soft power campaign on the part of Russia, where it sort of has individuals embedded in the U.S. media and even aides closer to Donald Trump to sort of change the conception of Joe Biden, or that was the case during the election campaign. So this is what the assessment of this intelligence report comes out and says. Russia has denied it. How the United States hopes or wishes to respond to these intelligence findings, well, Joe Biden told his Russian counterpart during a conversation that, we will take serious actions if it's confirmed that you did actually meddle in our elections. But regarding whether or not Joe Biden thinks Vladimir Putin is a killer or not, he said that, Russia will be punished and you'll soon find out how. So we'll have to see. A lot of questions here, but it definitely sets the stage for a Biden administration which wants to seem very firm on Russia on the one hand and have wielding powers in negotiations on the other hand. We'll see how that sits with Vladimir Putin. And another thing is about Joe Biden himself in recent weeks. If it comes to international relations, there's the border crisis happening here in the United States, and he's been sort of termed as being soft on immigration and soft on policies when it comes to national security issues and international relations. So this was perhaps an avenue for him to say that I am a tough and strong commander-in-chief, but we'll have to see how concerning these issues are for the United States moving forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. Leaving it there for the moment. Susan Tehrani, thanks very much for those details. Now, our correspondent Julia Chapman has also been tracking the developments in Moscow, sent us this report. Take a look.
President Joe Biden saying that, you can have both ways when it comes to Russia. You can work with them on areas where there are mutual interest, but also that there needs to be criticism when the Russian government is seen to do things badly. And so that is why he had said these things in this interview that aired this morning. But it's been met with quite a lot of condemnation among Russian officials over here in Moscow, with Vyacheslav Volodin, the Speaker of the Parliament, the lower house of Parliament, saying that this was an insult to all Russians, saying that it was possible that Vladimir Putin was a killer. Of course, we don't know exactly what President Joe Biden was referring to when he said those words, when he confirmed the question that was asked to him, whether or not he thought President Putin was a killer. But of course, this comes at a very difficult time for Russia-US relations. They keep getting worse, despite this nuclear agreement that was signed by the two countries just after President Biden came into power in January. There have been a lot of difficult issues, and now we understand there will be more sanctions. Indeed, more were announced even today by the US Ministry of Commerce, and we're expecting even more in relation to these the alleged election meddling by Russia, which has been roundly denied here in Russia.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.